Good morning. This is Mike Lodge. I'm glad that you have joined me. Another podcast, another Monday, another sunny day, and a lot of hot weather and humidity here in South Carolina. But I love it because it's not going to last very long. Pretty soon we're going to have some cool mornings and cool nights, dropping of the leaves. Right now, acorns are popping on my porch out in the back. It's funny because sometimes when those acorns come zooming down out of the tree, it sounds like a gunshot. I mean, when it hits the porch in the back, booma! It is. It's a big old sound. So Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I spent all my time fighting the inflation reduction bill that the Democrats put through yesterday. I fought it up until the very last moment. I put as much messages out there as I could. I contacted as many senators that I could. And yet it came down, and it was Democrat against Republican. Now remember what Manchin said. This is not a Democrat thing. This is not a Republican thing. But yes, it was. Yesterday it was straight down the line. Republicans said no. Democrats said yes, let's spend more money. And there was a tie vote, so that Vice President Harris had to come in and make the final call. That's how diversive that this bill was, because there are some senators, even what's his name, Sandberg? Oh, what's his name? Oh, Bernie Sanders. Sorry, Biden moment. Bernie Sanders came out on the Senate floor and said, "This bill does nothing to reduce inflation." Nothing. But yet, because they're so politically driven, they voted for the bill anyway. The vice president had to come in and move it over the top. It was a bad bill. It raises taxes on everybody. Don't believe what the hype that they're saying. Oh, no, it's not going to raise taxes on the middle class or the poor. No, it touches everybody's lives. It's a lie that they told you yesterday. It's a lie. I've looked at this bill. I've looked at what it hits, and I'm telling you, it's a lie. It's going to hit every single American. Remember how they said Obamacare is not going to hurt anybody? That tax that wasn't supposed to be a tax, but turned into a tax, wasn't going to touch anybody's lives. It touched everybody's lives. When they say it's not, go the opposite direction because it's going to. It's going to touch your lives. 87,000 new tax agents. You don't think that's going to touch your life? Yes, it is. Small businesses, Schedule C people, you're going to be hit. You are going to be hit because that's where they go after. We have a problem in the United States where the politicians are so driven politically, but they're not listening to the American people. If you read the comments in all these senators' Twitter accounts and blogs that they do, the majority of the people, I would say 98% of the people that were responding said, no, this is a dumb bill. This is a tax bill. This is an inflationary bill. We are going to get higher inflation. It's going to touch all American lives, not in a good way, in a negative way. And yet, because it was politics, and they know that they're going to lose the Congress, they know they're going to lose the Senate, they said, let's pass as much as we can. Let's do as much damage as we can. And now this morning, they're out there trying to sell their vote. They are trying to sell and tell you why they voted for it and why it's so great. But every single thing, they're all saying the same thing because they all have the same talking points because the bill is a lie. So here we are in a recession, and you and I are going to have to deal with the recession with added responsibility of higher taxes, more IRS agents looking over our shoulder, more spending being done on things that we should not be spending money on at the moment. So we have a situation where taxes are going up, government spending is going up, government growth is going up, and that all creates inflation. We have nutso people in the Senate, and I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do except revolt and fight back. tell these guys what they did was stupid. What they did was harmful to you and I, and we have more financial stress than we will ever have before because this recession is going to get worse. Right about October, November, we're going to start seeing more and more homes go into foreclosure. We have seen more and more people applying for credit card applications because their other credit cards are at the limit that they can't spend anymore. They don't have enough cash flow coming in from their payroll checks that will cover the added inflationary expenses that we have been hit with. Even me as a small business guy operating out of my office here, I'm having trouble too. I'm having trouble in collections of my clients' invoices that they need to pay. I'm having trouble because they can't pay. They're in the same situation. My accounts receivable gets older and older, and I try to work with them as much as possible. But I know the situation because I see their bank statements, and the bank statements say zero or almost zero. And they're doing the right thing. They're keeping their lights on. They're keeping their employees paid. They're trying to do everything that the utilities on. They're trying to do everything that you're supposed to do to keep yourself alive. And it gets tough. And it gets tougher. And now what the Senate has done has created even more financial stress on small businesses. And we're going to see a lot more small businesses go out. Not because of the pandemic, but because of the economic stress, the inflationary time, the supply chain issues that have not even been talked about in the Senate, have not even been addressed, have not had any hearings on or anything. They don't even care about the main issues that affect small businesses and big businesses and families like us. They don't care because they're so politically driven on climate change and all this other nonsense. And at the same time, we see crime going up in our communities because of their actions and inactions. We see really bad decisions being made in our government because they don't know what they're doing. We have a White House that is so out of touch with what an economy really is that they don't know how to guide the economy. Instead, they stand there and they spin and they lie and they exaggerate and they do every single thing that they can so that they don't have to answer the question of why are we in an inflation? What are you doing to help us in an inflation? And this Inflation Reduction Act is not reduction, it's an increase. So we as Americans, we have to deal with bad government decisions. And what happened yesterday in the United States Senate was bad government. It was bad democracy being seen. None of those senators were listening to the American people. Instead, what they were listening to were their own party members. It's kind of like being in the Communist Party, right? The Communist Party head honchos all control everything. But the people have no say. Remember what this country was founded on. It was because we had taxation without representation, and that's exactly what we have today. And I keep pounding on this with you guys. I keep talking about it, but it's true. And it's happening. And it's about time that we said to the Senate, okay, you're out of here. Based upon your vote to increase inflation, you're gone. We don't want you here anymore. We can't trust you. We cannot trust you to run this government. Even on the Republican side, McConnell, we can't trust you. McCarthy, in Congress, we can't trust you. Your voice doesn't matter anymore. Because you're controlled by a party that is so politically driven that they will kill anybody that gets in their way. And when I mean kill, I mean they will literally destroy you. That is where we're at today. We no longer have politicians that represent our voice. Our voice is gone. I found that out yesterday. No matter how many times I tried to reach out to these senators, no response back. It was an amazing aspect of this dirty, rotten politics that is being played in Washington, D.C., where I don't have a voice anymore. You don't have a voice. Our voices have been terminated by corrupted politics, politically driven, corrupted politics. And that's where we stand at the moment. We have now got to stand up, move forward, and fight back, revolt back against these senators and members of Congress who voted for a bill that was purely politically driven and nothing more, nothing else, because it had nothing to do with the American people. It had to do purely with their politics. You and I have got to take back this country. We have got to take back this Congress and the Senate. We can no longer have these individuals that are so politically corrupt that they're willing to step all over you and all over me. They don't care about our vote. They really don't. What they care about is the amount of money that they're making off their fundraising, the amount of power that they can get off of anything that they agree to. And then when it comes to making a decision for the American people, they do not make it for us, they make it for them. They make it for their political party, they make it for their power base, they make it for their donation base. And all of us down here at this level, we have no representation. Even here in South Carolina, we have 2 senators that are so politically driven also on the Republican side that they're not listening to the American people. We have Lindsey Graham here who is wanting to go to war, it seems like, on every single issue. And then we have the other senator, I forget what his name is at the moment. My mind is going blank because I'm so pissed off that he is kind of wishy-washy. And I'm never quite sure exactly which direction he leads. Fight back. We have got to fight back. We have got to fight back. That's our only option. We have got to get rid of these individuals that are so politically driven that they're dangerous to the American people. The American people is you and me. And we have a vote. And we have the power to take away all those financial givens that they get and start contacting these people who are donating and say, okay, enough is enough. If you keep donating, we're not going to use you. We have got to start fighting back. The only way we can fight back most of the time is through our finances. That's the only way. We got to start fighting back. Remember, we had a revolution before because we had taxation without representation. And a lot of tea ended up in the Boston Harbor. Well, a lot of votes have got to take place this November to get rid of these politically driven politicians that are doing so much harm to you and me, our personal finances, our children, our families, our businesses. Every time they vote, more harm, more destruction. Let's take it back. Let's fight back. Let's not be afraid of these guys. We gotta fight back. This is Mike Lodge. If you want to have more access to me, go to my website, which is at www.lodge-co.com. Again, that's www.lodge-co.com. Everybody go out and have a great Monday. Be blessed. Bye-bye.